Hola amigos de Wine News TV On The Go, les traigo una primicia, una exclusiva. Vamos a probar de nuevo los deliciosos vinos de Varvaglione. Como saben, estuve con el señor Ottavio Ruggeri hace unos meses aquí en el almacén del vino de B. Fernández, probando varios vinos italianos deliciosos, y hoy me acompaña el señor Angelo Varvaglione de la bodega directamente desde Puglia en Italia, ese país que yo amo tanto, y hoy vamos a hablar, en inglés va a ser la entrevista, de unos deliciosos vinos italianos que consiguen aquí en el almacén del vino de B. Fernández. Vamos a probarlos y también le vamos a contar por qué estos son los vinos perfectos para esta época del año, para Acción de Gracias, para Navidad, para fin de año, para Reyes. Saben que tenemos la Navidad más larga del mundo. Angelo, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much, Eduardo.
How are you?
Oh, I'm very good, actually. I was expecting like sunny days,
Okay.
but it's raining, so I think that I won't have time to lay on the beach. But
Right.
so I need like to drink more wine.
Is this your first time in Puerto Rico?
Actually, I would say yes, but I had been here last year for just 7 hours.
7 hours,
Yes.
like doing a layover?
No, I was like on a cruise ship, so we stopped for the dinner time.
okay.
And also in that time was raining actually, so really bad luck. And then like we back, so I think it doesn't count, right?
Yeah, it doesn't
So
count.
this
You
is
have
the
to have to stay longer. Yeah, this is the
this
first
is the
time.
first time.
I'm seeing here on the card that the winery just turned 100 years old,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
that's
congratulations
right.
for that.
Thank
Like
you.
you guys have been around for 102 years now. Who founded Varvaglione?
So the company was founded by my great grandfather, and he started as a farmer. He started to make the wine and to sell it like door by door, you know, like going around the little town close by my hometown. And nothing. Then, like my grandfather, bring the production to industrial, so he make it bigger.
Okay.
And then my father was the first one who started to invest more in quality,
Right.
and in the bottles. Because I don't know if you know, but Puglia was well known in the past for the bulk wine.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, we produce the wine not for bottling it, but for blending all the wines around Europe.
I understand that, and I've read about it. Put us in a geographical context for those who are listening to us. We have the beautiful Italian map that looks like a boot.
Mm-hmm.
Where exactly is Puglia? Where do you find it?
So Puglia is in the south, and actually is the hill of the boot, so it's el Tacón de la Bota.
Exactly.
And is totally surrounded by the sea. And this is very important because even if it's very hot, especially during the summertime, thanks to the wind, we have a really high range of temperature from daytime to nighttime, and this helps a lot the vines
Right.
in terms of ripeness and reaching the right, flavors and tastes at the end. And also, it's very important the wind because it blows all the minerality from the sea into the soil.
Into the vineyard, yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
and then you're gonna find a lot of it, like the minerality, the sapidity that all of our wines are.
And the contrast provides for an incredible contrast of heat and wind, and you have freshness and power, ripeness, and then the cool breeze at night helps to, refresh the vines, and then to let them, I guess, breathe or have a rest for the next day's very hot sun.
Yes.
And then you achieve wines of incredible complexity. What is the philosophy behind the winery? What do you want your consumers, your customers to get out of your bottles, aside from pleasure of drinking wine, of course?
Yeah.
But when they buy a bottle of Varvaglione, what's your end goal?
So first of all, like our goal is to let people taste like my land. I want people to taste Puglia, our soil, the heat of our sun, the breeze of the wind. So like I want people to understand how my land is and what my land can make actually. Because
Right.
actually it's all because of Mother Nature, right?
Exactly.
And to let people understand better where we are located, you have to think that Puglia, from an agricultural point of view, is very important in Italy.
Yeah.
So we produce in Puglia the 60% of the Italian olive oil.
Oh, really?
So,
That's
yeah,
another one of my
60,
passions. Do you guys make olive oil in
yeah,
your?
of course.
I have to
Evo.
taste it, man.
Yeah.
Olive oil is another of my passions. Like I don't do content on olive oil, but I love olive oil. Now I will definitely come and visit
you should come. You should come. And like speaking about the wine, Puglia is the first region for the wine production in Italy, and also we are the first region for the production of the cereals for pasta,
Right.
and for tomatoes, and for many other things. It's not because like we are the best in something, it's just because like the weather conditions are perfect.
And it's very fertile. The land.
Super fertile. Yeah.
That's
So
incredible.
why.
I didn't know this. I love to learn. You learn something new every day. Okay, and we have two wines. Obviously, there are four available here in Almacén del Vino of B. Fernandez. These are incredible wines for the price. The quality is way above the pay point of the consumer. Some of these wines are $25. The top wine which we'll taste is under 50, which is incredible, and definitely defeats wines that are twice as costly. All right, so explain to me the Negro Amaro grape, and I'm saying this because it must be difficult. At least it happens in other parts of the world when you come from Italy, where you have the giants of Tuscany and you have Piemonte. So those are perhaps the international superstars, but they come at a price point, right? They're more expensive wines. And sometimes when you are competing with these giants, it's harder to make yourself noticeable. First, let's touch on that. What do you see as an advantage, and then maybe perhaps as an area of opportunity when you come from a country that has so well-known wine regions?
So for us, like to compete with such like big brands, and when I'm not speaking only about like the brands of the wineries, but also the brands of the regions, which are very famous from Italy, but also like when we speak about competition, we have to speak about the world, because like we are in competition with all the regions of the world,
Exactly,
which are making the wine. So for us, like our philosophy is to be focused on the quality, because we know that the final consumers is improving his knowledge about the wine. People are starting to drink with more consciousness day by day, and this is very good for us, because we were talking before, like I do like to do the blind tasting.
Yeah, you were telling me that.
So I really I'm not afraid to put my wines in a blind tasting next to any other kind of
Any
wines.
Sangiovese or Nebbiolo-based wines.
No, I'm not scared about it. So like I already have done it like with people with a big consciousness about the wine. We are very satisfied of our product, and we know that we are going to the right direction. Of course, it takes time, because you have to understand that when a winery has an heritage, has an history, you have to respect that. Right. So if you started to work into the market since like 150, 200 years, I have respect that.
Exactly,
so like,
of
but
course.
I have to start from a point, right? So okay, maybe I'm in the not day zero. Maybe I already have like 20, 25 years in the bottling market.
Right.
Yeah, but
that's a very good answer. Yeah, so Chianti has been doing this for 250 years.
Yes.
You guys have been doing it like the Puglia region.
Yes.
Fine wine, because everything was bulk wine. What, 50, 60 years, you would say?
No, I would say 30.
30 years.
No, you are quite young in the market.
Yeah, quite young.
But I have to say to you that like all Apulian wines are growing constantly year by year. So step by step we are building our brand, and we know that when we let people try our wines, they understand that there is quality, that there is something our words. So we are not saying like, we are not lying to the customers.
Yeah.
And this is very important, because then when you get the trustness of the people, then
yeah, they'll follow you and they'll buy the wines. I've been promoting these wines, and I'll tell you as a consumer, maybe you cannot say this because it will look arrogant, and you seem like a very nice guy, even though you come from the family that built the place. But in terms of quality, this Negro Amaro that I think is around $19 here in Puerto Rico totally kills a Chianti at that price point. and totally kills a Nebbiolo di Alba at that price point. If you want to drink, very good quality from those places, you probably have to pay above 30, 35. And this wine for about $19 is delicious. This is a good segue to get into the wine, my friend. Tell me about the Negro Amaro del Salento 12 e mezzo.
Sì.
12 e mezzo. Tell me about this wine, my friend.
So first of all, the name Negramaro comes from the combination of two words. So negro from Spanish and mavros from Greek. Both of them means black. So black because of the color of the skin of the grape.
Okay.
And that's why also the color, which is very intense and clear. And we have this combination of the words because the south of Italy was under the control of the Spanish, and before the Spanish, under the Greeks' control.
Oh, really?
Before the Romans, actually. So
negro, obviously black, and maro black too in Greek.
Mavros.
Negro,
Yes.
negro amaro.
Because people think that negro amaro means like black and bitter.
Yes.
But it's not. It's black. That's
I love it. I am blown away by the cheers, my friend, and
Cheers.
welcome to Puerto Rico.
Thank you.
This is probably, aside from the laughter of your children, the best sound in the world is this. All right, so I have a wine here that retails for under $20. Is 12.5 in alcohol, which is very moderate. This has less alcohol that a lot of white wines from different parts of the world. I cannot begin to explain or to convey to the audience the deliciousness here on the nose, the lovely herbs. There's a beautiful note of cherry, and then you have spice. You have something that speaks to me about some tomato paste, some wow, there's a little bit of a balsamic note to it as well. And there is an underlying sort of citrusy, very red citrus fruit to it, like a very, very, ripe blood orange to it. It just smells so elegant. And then there's minerality, like iron, like something that speaks to me about, either volcanic soil or a mineral soil. Tell me more about the Negro Amaro grape.
Yes. First of all, in my opinion, the Negramaro, the beautiful of the Negramaro is that it's a very versatile wine because of the tannins. So the tannins are very smooth. They are not as strong like you're going to find in the Primitivo. And this gives to this wine the beauty of to be paired basically with everything. So in Puglia, we used to drink the Negramaro with fish, with white meat.
You can totally do it with fish.
With pizza, with pasta, with everything basically. And this is one of those few red wines that you can drink it cold.
The acidity here is lovely. The tension, the energy, the vibrancy, the salinity. There's an iron salinity.
Yes.
There's a beautiful drying sensation at the end that will totally clean your palate after a piece of meat or after some pizza. Wow, what a beautiful wine, my friend. Yeah. It's gorgeous.
And you know what? I like to give this little information about the 12 and a half, 12 e medio.
Yeah.
Because like here...
Very good, you know some Spanish. 12 y medio, you know Spanish, right, a bit?
Because in this wine there is pure technique in the vineyards. Because like in my land, in our region, it's very easy to have like 14, 15, 16% of alcohol.
Of course.
It's quite easy. To have 12.5%, it's quite difficult. So we have to work a lot on the vineyards, and what we have to do? We have to increase the production per hectares. But as you know, more quantity means less quality.
Of course.
Right? So what we have to do
But the quality here is not compromised at all.
Yes. So what we have to do to keep high also the quality. So we studied that there is a correlation between the grape and the leaves of the vine.
Okay.
So per each kilos of grape, you need to have 1 square meters of leaves. So if we increase the production to 3 kilos, 4 kilos per vines, then we have to keep the square meters of the leaves to 3, 4 meters.
Can you use the leaves to create shade?
It's not because of the shade, it's because like there are the photosynthesis, you know,
yeah,
and so like the vine works by the leaves. So like if I just increase the quantity of the production, then you're going to have water at the end.
Dilute it.
Not even juice. So in this way, I can spread more the sugars in the bunches, And so I can decrease the alcohol volume at the end, but I can keep the characteristic in flavor and in taste.
I love this wine because the length, the finish is the length and the finish of an Italian wine that costs $75. I mean, it's long, has this lovely, lovely plum to it at the end, and I am still feeling that salinity, that freshness, that lovely, lovely sort of cleansing sensation. And you know what? It wants me go for a second glass. It wants me to keep on drinking. And at 12.5, it's remarkable that you achieve this, because there are wines, some wines in the world, red wines at this alcohol level, that are flat, or either flat or taste like water. But here you have a wine of incredible balance, tension, freshness, and then there's power too. There's a very beautiful, juicy fruit there. Lovely, lovely wine, and this is under $20. The 12.5 Negro Amaro del Salento from Varvaglione. What do you pair this back at home? You told me about pizza. You told me about drinking it cold, which is nice. Here in Puerto Rico, we have hot weather throughout the year, so yeah, people should drink their red wines at least fresh, if not cold. But back home, what's like a typical pairing for this?
Like, in my opinion, like the Negro Amaro works very, very well with all the dishes where there are vegetables.
Okay.
Because like vegetables are very fresh and light. So like if you drink something with a full body, where the body is too strong, then you're going to cover everything.
Yeah.
So when you have some dish very elegant, very delicate with vegetables, then the Negro Amaro works very well.
Yeah, I think it would pair very well with things that have olives. It would pair very well with melanzana, berenjena, beautiful with melanzana. And because of the acidity to it, it would also gonna cut through the fat of some cheeses. I see this pairing very well with cheese. I think that this wine is around $19 here in Almacén del Vino de B. Fernández, and I cannot stress this enough. This is the wine you want on your table for Thanksgiving. It would pair very well with turkey. It would pair very, very well with the sweet potatoes that we eat here, and also with the cranberry paste that some people put on their tables. This is remarkable. And it would also go very well with pork. We eat pork here for Christmas. Incredible wine. Thank you for this. Let's go to the next wine, the Papale Primitivo di Manduria. What a beautiful, elegant bottle. Before we get into the wine, talk to me about the Primitivo grape.
Okay. So the name Primitivo doesn't come from primitives. It comes from prima, el primero.
Okay.
So because it's the first black grape variety that we harvest during the harvest time.
Okay.
So that's why the name Primitivo. And Primitivo di Manduria means that is a DOP. So the area of the production of this grape, it's a small area into another macro area, which is Salento.
Okay.
So back to the Puglia.
Specificity. You have soil specificity.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have like the Puglia, and Puglia is divided in 3 areas. So in the northern part, we have Gargano. Mm-hmm. In the middle part, we have Valle d'Itria. And in the southern part, where we are located, we are Salento area. Okay. So inside Salento, we have this small town, which is called Manduria. And inside the area of Manduria, we have this DOP that has some rules for the production of the Primitivo, which means that we cannot exceed 8 tons per hectare in production. It could not be like lower than 14% of alcohol. Also for aging, there are some other rules. So like, because we want to keep the quality of this wine very, very high. So we want people, when they hear the name Manduria, they have to link the name to something amazing, something very good. That's why. And the Primitivo, comparing with the Negro Amaro, has more characteristics, more, I would say, more spiciness. The tannins are stronger. Mm-hmm. It's a full body wine, and that's why also we play a little bit with the oak here. Mm-hmm. So this one is aged for 10 months in the oak, the French oak, big barrels, and the American oak, barriques, just for 2 months.
Okay.
So, and here there is a point about the philosophy of the wine. For us, because like my father always prefer to use big barrels instead of the barriques, mm-hmm. because like The big barrels are used to round the body. The barrique are used to enrich the wine. But as I told you before, I want you to taste the wine, not the oak.
Right, the proportion is bigger in the big barrel.
Exactly.
Wow, this wine is unbelievable. It's delicious. A lot of people compare, say that Primitivo and Zinfandel are the same grape. They're related. There's a heritage, but this wine, instead of a lot of Zinfandels that I've tasted, really does have a soul. I mean, it's not just sweet juice. This has incredible juiciness. The nose is very sexy. The nose here is spicy, juicy, but it doesn't smell sweet. You know, there are certain wines that smell sweet.
Yeah.
Here, you smell an explosion of fruit, an explosion of spice.
Yes.
And there's also this gorgeous note of like this citrus, like crunchy, acidic fruit that you know is going to be present. And I think it's the minerality. I think, again, this is the soil that you're tasting, that maybe you don't find this salinity in certain Zinfandels in the New World. I think the key here to having the balance in a grape that can really become sweet or can become very ripe, the key here is the soil. The key here is that salinity, that proximity to the ocean, where you taste freshness in a very, very sort of generous fruit. I don't know if you share what I'm saying, but
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's incredible.
It's very important, the balance between acidity and sweetness. And when I say sweetness, I mean the fruitiness, actually, as you said before. And thanks to the balance, as you see, doesn't matter if we are drinking 14.5% of alcohol and before we had 12.5% of alcohol, all of them keep the drinkability very high. Mm-hmm. Because for my father, who is the winemaker of the company, he always said, it's pointless to have this heavy, fat, complex wine if you can just enjoy 2 glasses of it.
Because if you have more than 2 at that, style or with that style of wine, you'll end up drunk or you'll end up with an anesthetized mouth or you're not going to feel anything. And you want wines that are meant to be paired with food. They don't want to upstage the food. They don't want to steal the show. They're there to complement the food. I've always thought of Italian wines as food pairing wines. Yes. They're made to be enjoyed with food because of the acidity, the freshness, the elegance. And here with this wine, I'm once again, I am once again finding the evidence of the importance of having big ripe wines with a balance and equilibrium that's provided by the acidity and by the soil that in the case of this soil adds the salinity, adds the freshness. At the end, you don't feel any sweetness or residual sugar. You feel the presence of fruit. And again, it makes me want to go for a piece of meat. Here, you definitely need something bigger or with more structure than with the Negro Amaro.
Yes. And I can tell you something about the label.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, because the label is named Papale, and the Papale comes from Pope. Yeah. Because we have the first and actually the last Pope from Puglia in 1700, mm-hmm. and his family owned a lot of lands all around Puglia. Mm-hmm. And because of that, the farmers called this area with these vineyards close by my company, Papale area.
Papale area.
Yes. Then my grandfather bought those vineyards, and then from those vineyards we started to make the Papale, so we kept the name, we use it for the label, and we asked the permission to the Vatican City to use the original symbol of the rings of Orsini family.
So this is the Pope who was from the area.
Exactly.
And you have the seal, the wax seal of that family, the Pope's family.
Exactly. And on the label there is the original article of the Naples Journal from 1700, is written in Italian Vulgar, which speaks about the celebration of the new Pope. So there are the monks and the nuns celebrating in the streets around the new Pope.
Yeah, it's a very elegant label. I mean, this is a conversation piece in itself. This wine is $41, I think, here. It's less than $45 for sure, and it can definitely stand next to a Napa Cab that cost $80, $90. There's a lot of generous fruit here, but there's also elegance, freshness, there's equilibrium. Aging. How does the papale, I mean, if somebody were to come here to Almacén del Vino and buy a couple of bottles, want to drink tonight because it's beautiful right now, but how do they age? Like, you probably have library wines in your cellar from a couple of years ago. Can they age the Primitivo grapes?
Yes, for sure. Like we already have because like we started to produce this label in 2008.
Right.
So it's not at all but we.
But the 2009, 2010, how are they drinking 13 years afterwards?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
And the tannin structure keeps that long life.
It keeps actually the structure, and we see that we have a nice evolution of the wine. It's beautiful. The complexity changed totally. But yes, I'm sure that if I say that you can keep it for 10, 15 years, it's okay.
I love that these wines change in the glass. They evolve. They keep opening up. And these are the wines that the last glass is going to be better than the first one because they keep opening up. These are gorgeous wines. And to think that you can buy both wines for less than $65 at 41 the Papale and 19 the Negro Amaro del Salento plus tax, it's under $65. These wines are unbelievable. You also have, and I want to touch on those, even if we're not going to try them, you also have two wines here. Can you tell me a little bit about the Primitivo di Puglia made with organic grapes?
Yes. So here we have the Primitivo made from other different areas. So we tried the DOP from Manduria. And here we have the organic Primitivo, which is called IGP Puglia, which means that the grape comes from all around the Puglia. And this is like the Primitivo, how it should be, like pure 100%, no oak, nothing, it's just like the juice of the Primitivo.
Beautiful.
100%. And here you can feel all the tannins, all those notes that I was saying about black peppers, natural, all the balsamic which comes from the Mediterranean steams, which are these spontaneous greens that you have all around the Mediterranean coast. It's beautiful actually. And when you say organic, the organic works doesn't mean that it's made inorganic in the winery. The organic works means that you grow the grape in an organic way.
No pesticides, no chemicals.
Nothing.
Okay.
And actually, in the last year, we became a sustainable corporate. So we are a sustainable winery because we're very focused on
Great
sustainability.
For that. Yeah.
And we are trying to improve and increase the production of the organic wine.
And then also the 12 e Mezzo Primitivo del Salento would be like the brother or sister of the Negro Amaro.
Exactly. So here we have Primitivo del Salento. As I said before, Salento is a micro area in the southern part of Puglia. So the grape of the Primitivo of this bottle comes only from Salento area. And here we have a touch of American Barrique just for 2 months, and not like the whole percentage of the wine, just 50% of the wine. So 50% in stainless steel, 50% in American oak, then we blend it because we want just give a touch of oakiness, smokiness,
caramel, vanilla, the vanilla note.
Exactly.
Do you guys make any white wines?
Oh yes, we have indigenous grape from Puglia.
These are not available in Puerto Rico, but I will taste them when I come visit you. What do you guys make in whites?
We have Verdeca, we have Fiano, we have Falanghina, we have Bombino.
Oh my God.
Yes, we have.
And what are their profiles? Like, what are the characteristics of those grapes?
So, for example,
mineral, very mineral.
No, like Fiano, in my opinion, like is amazing. You really feel like the breeze from the sea. It's you have a lot of minerality. You have this touch of white skin fruits. It's beautiful. Then you have the Falanghina, which keeps the acidity very high, even if it's very hot outside. So, in my opinion, would be a very good base for sparkling wine. And this is a project on what we are working, actually. And then we have the Verdeca. Verdeca is a very generous grape variety. So, like, it gives you a lot of production and with a very nice flavor of tropical fruits.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Thank you so much for this, my friend. It's been a class. I am going to share this link with you afterwards so you can share it with your friends and to your social media. I want to thank you for putting these beautiful products in our Puerto Rico market. They are remarkable. The price point, the quality, the soul. These are wines that you can tell are made in the vineyard. They're not made inside the winery. They're finished at the winery, but you can see that everything starts with the soil. Everything starts with the sun, the wind, and making sure that those grapes are well taken care of. There are delicious wines. Thank you for this, and I hope this is the first of many more interactions that we get to have.
Thank you.
Gente, vengan a buscar estos vinos de 12 de mezzo hechos por la familia Varvaglione. Son espectaculares. Voy a dejar el enlace aquí de la entrevista que hice con Ottavio Ruggeri cuando probamos los otros vinos que no hemos probado hoy. El Negro Amaro de Salento en $19 es una joya y el Papale de $42 es un vino de colección con una etiqueta divina que tiene la historia del Papa de esa región de Puglia, que llegó a ser Papa obviamente, y tiene el sello, tiene el escudo de armas de la familia de ese Papa. Vengan al almacén del vino a probar estos vinos italianos que están hechos y pensados para su disfrute y para acompañar con comida. Son una delicia. Gracias por su sintonía. Recuerden suscribirse a nuestro canal de Spotify y Apple Podcast. Y bueno, les mando un gran abrazo como siempre. Salute, my friend. Let's make this beautiful sound appear again.
Salute.
Salute. Bye-bye.